Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's July 21st, and right now we are looking at the SPC and its prediction here for isolated dry thunderstorm activity here with the scattered dry, and this is probably already played out in a couple hundred lightning strikes at least across portions of the Oregon Cascades as we went through the night last night. And right now we have quite a bit of lightning. It's been moving up across the Oregon coastal range just off to the west of Portland here, and that should start to move into western Washington here as we go through the morning hours here. This is the wording from the SPC. An outbreak of dry lightning is probable over receptive fuels across the northwest interior today and tonight. So we're going to dive into those details here, folks, and we're going to take a look at the satellite imagery starting actually right now. This is yesterday morning, so I'm going to scroll through this and you can see the marine layer burned back. You can see the smoke drifting around out there, and then as we went towards the sunset and the overnight hours, you can see the thunderstorm started right up across the Oregon Cascades. Plenty of lightning strikes with that activity out across western Oregon, over the coastal regions as well. We scroll through the overnight hours and look at just all these lightning strikes come all the way up the coastal range here. Not good for fire starts there along the immediate coast, as you can see. And then we scroll towards the current period now, and you can see lightning strikes just lapping up towards western Washington as we speak. And you can see this monsoon moisture coming all the way up across the region here and out over the coastal areas. So that is where we are right about now. You can see the smoke drifting around out there as well. You can see some altocumulus castellanus clouds out over the Puget Sound, kind of a precursor for some thunderstorm activity. The question is, are we going to get thunderstorms here across the Puget Sound and some of western Washington? How many lightning strikes will occur? As you can see, this is quite overperformed here for western Oregon, and this activity is now moving north. Take a look at the models here and see what kind of help we can get from them. This is the mid-level water vapor loop. So this shows you what was going on in the overnight hours as well. Just some black things out. Here we go through yesterday, the nighttime hours. Again, hundreds of lightning strikes here across the southern Oregon Cascades. No doubt it's going to kick off some more fires, as well as this activity as it moves north. So we're replaying this entire thing again. And then you can see we're right about here. You can see just now a lightning strike there near Cape Disappointment in western Washington. Now taking a look at, again, one more look at that fire weather outlook. This is isolated dry. It does include the Seattle Metro up towards Bellingham here as well. And yeah, so we're going to be seeing how this plays out here pretty shortly. These are always very subtle features here, very difficult to predict, even in an outcast situation such as this. This is day 2. It does include Pendleton off to the east of Medford, Boise, Idaho here as well. It does include Missoula, Montana. Now, thunderstorm outlook here, this would extend up into southwest BC. So this is for today. You can see it includes Seattle, Portland, and Eugene. Probably already passed a lot of the Oregon areas here as this activity continues to move northbound towards western Washington. This is day 2. Some of northeast Washington, Spokane, just off the east of the Pendleton, and it does include Boise for tomorrow also. So thunderstorm out potential Sunday. Spokane talks about it. They do show it coming over the Cascades here Sunday evening, Sunday night. And hold on, I'm getting to something here. Portland, you can see they did talk about this as we went through the forecasts yesterday. And so it kind of concerns me that Seattle is really not mentioning the lightning threat much. They mentioned a very low chance for maybe a strike over the Cascades or the Olympics, but clearly there is a chance for lightning activity moving up from the south. And I kind of a little bit disappointing that they're not talking about that a little bit more. You can click on the forecast discussion and read that for yourself if you want, but you'd like to see a graphic out for that when you've got isolated dry and the SPC includes you in the thunderstorm risk here, when you've got the potential for some fire activity. And just because lightning is so rare across Pacific Northwest, these are the current hazards. You can see they do have the red flag warnings because of the thunderstorm activity moving up across some of the coastal regions here, Cascades, Olympic Mountains. You can see the excessive heat warning there in effect for eastern Washington also, and some heat advisories out there also. Now taking a look at Seattle, 88 very warm temperatures, borderline hot there for Seattle yesterday. Nowhere near the record high still though of 100 degrees, no precipitation to speak of. And we're probably going to be in the low 80s again today. But, you know, those clouds around, it could hold down the temperatures a bit here. But I still think we're probably going to get towards 80 degrees today. That will be the 18th straight day of 80 plus at SeaTac. That is an all-time record. We're probably putting an end to that streak tomorrow, however. And if you want a nice, affordable home weather station, stick with me here. Check this out, what's going on across western Oregon. Yeah, this thing builds its own forecast for you, stores the data for you in the cloud. It's got a lightning detection system with it. So I clicked this random station here out towards just south of Hillsboro. And if we scroll in here, you can see they're picking up lightning. 27 lightning strikes this station picked up. The last one was now 13 minutes ago and was 11 to 14 miles away. And you can see, you can scroll through here and see how far these individual strikes were. Look at that one, pretty close to this weather station, between 1 and 4 miles. So very fun watching this. Pick yourself up one by clicking on that link down below to save 10%. Attractive unit, great smartphone app. Now, taking a look at what is going on here in the upper levels, this is at 500 millibars, they're 18,000 feet. You can see Washington, Oregon. This is that shortwave that's bringing some of that moisture back up over the area and just creating all this lightning activity, probably over 1,000 strikes already for Oregon, Western Oregon. As we scroll through, you can see that activity move up here, loses a little bit of its punch here, it looks like. And so we'll see what this is going to do for Western Washington. Even in this current situation, it's tough to tell how much lightning is going to occur across the area. It's always such a cat and mouse game. But then you can see as we head off in towards the early portion, the mid portion of the week, we're going to have this trough right here across western BC, hanging down towards Vancouver Island. We're going to get strong onshore flow. So if we do get starts across the Olympic Mountains, the coastal range of Oregon, we could really be fanning those flames, Vancouver Island as well, and starting to bring smoke even into some of the metro areas. We'll see how that goes. You know, no promises right now. We have enough fires already burning across the Washington, Oregon, British Columbia Cascades also. But with this onshore flow, that will keep most of that smoke off to the west. The question is, are we going to start some fires here across western portions? So taking a look at that monsoon moisture aloft, here's the North American model. We put this into motion and you can see the culprit here as this moisture gets brought northward, it's streaming northward, advecting northward, and then we start to bring this activity potentially into western Washington. Is it going to be enough to trigger a couple strikes across Seattle or the Cascades? Still a good question even at this hour. So if we take a look at the cross-section for Seattle-Tacoma, this is about the 10,000 foot line here. You're looking up at 39,000 feet here, and there's the surface. You can see that slug of moisture as it moves in aloft, and you can see that drier air below it. So it helps that precipitation evaporate before it reaches the ground, hence the dry thunderstorm potential. Here's Astoria, same thing here too. You can kind of see that profile in this monsoon moisture moving above us aloft. This is Hoquiam Airport also. Now, taking a look at the lightning flash density on the European, can we get any help at all? This is last night when there was already a lot of lightning going on across the Cascades of Oregon. We put this into motion and you can see the European is virtually no help at all. This is towards 9 a.m. and obviously we've had hundreds of lightning strikes in this area. It is not picking up that activity in the mid levels. And we scroll through this afternoon, it shows some activity of the Cascades of Washington and Oregon, but obviously the European is in no help with this setup. Now if we look at the high resolution rapid refresh, in contrast, this is the 13Z run versus the 12Z run, and this one keeps flipping and flopping back and forth, but at least it shows this lightning potential here. So as we scroll through this morning, it shows us moving up across western Washington here, and then you can see the 13Z kind of took away what the 12Z was showing, so it bounces back and forth, and it's a cat and mouse game of, are you going to get lightning strikes in the Seattle Metro or not? But you can see a few thunderstorms moving across the Olympic Mountains, also western Washington into Vancouver Island, and then potentially up into southwest BC also as we go on into the afternoon hours. Looking at the North American model, you try to grab something from this as well, but as this feature is moving up, there's quite a bit of lightning activity here, and it doesn't look very substantial on the composite reflectivity. And then we scroll into the late morning and the afternoon hours, and you see that activity. Will that have a couple lightning strikes? You know, it's like flip a coin on that one. Now, taking a look at the GFS, let's take a look at the extended forecast really quick here and see what's coming up here. We're going to look at the GFS ensemble mean, and we're going to scroll through this. You can see that short wave kind of moving through there, but we're just kind of looking at the trough and ridge position here as we scroll up into the extended. We're going on through Tuesday, and now we're into Wednesday. The trough hanging out here. Definitely going to cool us down here across much of the Pacific Northwest with that positioning. Trough hanging out. You can kind of see it there. And then we get maybe another semblance of a trough as we go towards the end of July. That would be quite nice as well. Keep us seasonably cool here across the region. We'll see how that turns out. But you can kind of see the GFS wants to keep that trough hanging around all the way on into early August. Now, the National Blend of Models, this is probably what's going to happen. You can see 83 probably again today, and then dropping back down, ending that streak of 80-degree days for Seattle and really giving us a break here from this very warm weather across a lot of the Pacific Northwest. However, you can see east. Look at this is for today. Look at some of these temperatures in eastern Washington approaching 110 degrees, 112 degrees out towards the Idaho-Washington border. Very warm for eastern Oregon also. You can see some mid-80s for the Willamette Valley and even up towards southwest BC. Some very warm conditions today. Tomorrow we start to cool things down, but still a very warm day for places east of the Cascades. Then you start to feel the cool down a little bit on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then Thursday you really start to get in the action here. Some places 25 degrees cooler potentially versus where you are going to be today. And you can see the 70s hanging out across western Washington and maybe some 80s returning as we go towards next weekend. No promises on that just yet. So look at the North American model, 80-meter wind speed here. So you'll see as we scroll on in towards this Sunday afternoon today, you can kind of see we're starting to pick up the westerlies a bit here across the region. Then as we go through Monday and then Monday night, you can kind of see them really pick up, especially the east slopes of the Cascade. So any fire activity ongoing, that could really start to fan some of the flames here. And even if something starts across the Olympic Mountains or the Oregon coastal range here, you can get that kick up of wind. It doesn't take much to spread those fires. 6 to 10 day, this was issued yesterday. You can see the below average signal there because of that troughing, no doubt, across the Pacific Northwest. And this is the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook here, and a little above normal signal. We'll see how that goes. But this, again, is for today. Let's see if they've updated this. You can see that lightning strike there across Northwest Washington. They should have had it up at NW2, as I mentioned yesterday. In NW3, it would have totally been justified, and it looks like they had it for NW7, so that was okay there. But yeah, we have that lightning potential today. Here it comes. Critical burn environment out there for a lot of the Cascades and for the Olympic Mountains. That's why the red flag warning is up. So, keep your wits about you. If you're out there hiking and you see a thunderstorm nearby, that may be a fire starter. And one more time here, let's take a look at this. This is the old forecast zones for Portland, and Seattle's redoing theirs as well. We'll go over that at some point here, but you can see if you go through here, you can see how much more intricately detailed these boundaries are and how many more forecast zones all the way up into southwest Washington are going to be present. And this makes a lot of work for the National Weather Service, but this should be much more accurate here because you're highlighting all these terrain features and some of the lower elevations, and the terrain can make all the difference in the world between getting snowfall and strong winds and how much precipitation and what your temperature is going to be, and for winds, especially on the coastal zones as well. So yeah, interesting stuff there. National Weather Service Portland, nice update. So anyway, yeah, be prepared for this because it's just now starting to move into western Washington as we speak, and there's no doubt going to be new fires started. Just hundreds of lightning strikes have been moving across western Oregon and the Cascades overnight last night and in towards this morning. In fact, we can take one more look at it here. Looks like that is timed out, so we're going to click on the GOES derived and go to lightning flashes, and here we go. We've got our first thunderstorm into western Washington as we speak. So it did happen. Here we go. Thunderstorms into western Washington. How are we going to start to bring this up towards the SeaTac area? Olympia, Chehalis, it's getting close. Washington Coast, Olympic Mountains, Vancouver, BC. Fun stuff, no doubt. Pretty rare treat across Pacific Northwest to get lightning. The problem is in this kind of regime, we can really start some fires here with very dry conditions. This is not going to be bringing much precipitation. As you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 active thunderstorms as we go right now. So anyway, cross your fingers for that. Weather lovers here, you cross your fingers to see a couple of lightning strikes out there, and hopefully they don't kick up any fires. But anyway, click that like and subscribe button down there. And if you want to monetarily join the channel, you can click that down below as well. Again, thanks to all my members here. You guys give your hard-earned money to really help this channel out. It's not possible without you. And thanks for everybody viewing. The channel's going crazy when we get any kind of weather event here. So it makes it, all the more fun just to do that. And then again, if you want that weather station, click on that link down below. It's so fun watching lightning strikes show up on your weather station when a system like this moves over top. So anyway, we'll do this all again tomorrow, maybe even again later today. I may live stream at some point if it looks like lightning is going to be moving up across some of the Seattle metro here. So that would actually start pretty soon. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.